Two bros chilling in the hot tub.
You the twos and we the ones? Well, you are the biggest two of them all, my dog. That's what you are. You are a giant number two.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Two Bros Podcast. As always, I am Bryce, and I am joined by...
I'm Matt. But yo, hey, flash that ring. Flash that ring, Bryce. Flash that ring. Bryce got married. Let's go.
That's why we didn't record last week. We also didn't get an episode out last week like you said we were going to, but don't worry, we still recorded it. So we are going to put the AFC and NFC North.
Celebrating Bryce.
You guys are getting 3 division previews from us today because I'm going to lump the AFC North, NFC North in with our NFC East division preview video. So you guys are going to get a lot, and I mean a lot of football content this week. It's going to be a long episode, but that's because, we're not recording that much today. It's going to be a long episode, but like 20 minutes additional time. But the tamale truck is all right up. Alrighty. But we're going to start right in the NFL because this has something to do with college football and the NFL because Jaden Daniels has sent a cease and desist order to LSU to stop using his name, image, and likeness after they gave his number to 5-star cornerback DJ Pickett.
Who cares? It's a number. Like, he doesn't own a number.
I mean,
he hasn't been retired yet.
If the 2 better LSU quarterbacks didn't get their number retired, what makes Jaden Daniels think that a man who did not win a national championship in which number 2 in Jamarcus Russell won a Heisman and a national championship at LSU, and Joe Burrow won a Heisman and a national championship at LSU? If neither one of those got their jersey retired, and Joe Burrow probably the greatest college football season of all time at quarterback. If neither one of those got their jersey retired, guess what, Jaden Daniels? You are not going to. And I love that right now everybody's making a joke about this, and I really feel like whoever in his team told him to do that, he needs to fire them right now, or they should have been fired the second somebody brought this thought into their head to make him think about doing this. Like, what are we doing?
I think we all understand Jaden Daniels was a good player, but he didn't even spend his entire college career with LSU.
I mean, Joe Burrow didn't either. But
I understand. Joe Burrow did more with LSU on the time he was there.
He won a Heisman and a national championship and had the greatest college season a quarterback has ever had. So,
as much of a bust as he was, Jamarcus Russell did do a lot for LSU, played there for his entire career. Could be argued one of their best quarterbacks ever. Take away his NFL career.
It's either him or Joe Burrow.
Jamarcus Russell or Joe Burrow. And I'm sorry, can we talk about how Jaden Daniels might not be top 5?
Really?
There's been serious stars coming out of us.
You can't say number 5, remember. I was out of respect.
You're right, sorry. He might be top
number
4.
Redacted. Number redacted.
He might sue us.
Anyways, now we're going to talk about a team that is in your division, that is in your team's division, because the Bears will be moving to Indiana, but they're still going to be called the Chicago Bears because they're moving about an hour, east, so it's still technically in the Chicago area.
Yeah, you know what? I really think that this means nothing. It's a stadium. I'm sorry. It's like the same thing. It just has not, like, this is the same thing as when the Warriors moved from Oakland to San Francisco. It doesn't affect their team at all. They're still Warriors. This is still the Bears, sadly.
I mean, this is at least the Bears or the Warriors moved right across the bridge. The Bears are moving a totally different state.
Well, I understand that. I think it is crazy they're moving to a different state. But I do think that in the end of the day, they're still going to be the Chicago Bears. It's not like you're going to lose out on the storied franchise. This isn't the Colt. This isn't the Browns moving to Baltimore. This isn't the Ravens moving to Indianapolis.
It's not the Browns moving to Baltimore. It's not the Colts moving to Indianapolis.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like this sucks for people who are in Chicago, but it's not like they're going to be unable to see their team. It's not like they're going to block out someone with an Illinois ID.
Yeah. But it's so weird to think that they're going to be in Indiana and not in Chicago and still be called the Chicago Bears. But I get it. The Jets do it. The Jets play New Jersey and they're called the New York Jets. The Giants play New Jersey and they're called the New York Jets. But anyways, speaking of the New York Jets running back Breece Hall strains his groin and he's out for 2 to 3 weeks, meaning he will not be back for the preseason and he will probably be back by week. I mean,
it's tough.
The Jets don't really have that much optimism. We're going to talk about them next week when we do our AFC East episode, but I don't think either one.
That's our final one, right?
That's our final one because we're doing the AFC. We have the AFC North, NFC North, and the NFC East all in this episode. But yeah, Breece Hall is a guy who probably because of how weird the Jets are this year is a guy who's going to be overused. And I think he's going to get hurt this year. And I think we could see Braylon Allen really step up and Isaiah Davis really step up and carry some of the load that Breece Hall the Jets will be missing if Breece Hall does miss. And we're going to start to see that really the preseason.
If we can be like, I watched, I think it was Benjamin Brand made a video about the injury and it's funny and all, but he's not. Breece Hall is one of the only reasons to watch this team outside of Garrett Wilson. I'm sorry, who's excited about Geno Smith's return? You don't have Sauce Gardner to make you excited about this defense anymore. Quincy, what is it? Quinnen Williams is gone.
Quincy Williams is gone.
No one's really excited about the husk of Demario Davis, who actually, sorry, he's in New Orleans. It doesn't even matter.
No, he's a Jet.
Yeah, Jet. No one's really excited about the husk of Demario Davis.
I mean, he's still really good, though.
He's good, but this team needs Breece Hall not just to be good, but to be relevant.
Yeah. But now, speaking of relevant running backs, Jeremiah Love sprains his ankle and he is done for the preseason. Why are the Cardinals stupid running him this early or this early?
Yeah, that's really dumb. I think that this shows us that
it's not the regular season. It's why they giving him 14 carries in the preseason.
The Cardinals are a joke. I'm sorry. You draft a guy number 3 overall. You take the risk on bringing him in. Don't even say right away you're going to give him the start and then run him to the ground his first ever NFL game.
Yeah.
Gets injured. And now you are potentially losing him for a significant amount of time.
Well, he'll probably be back.
It doesn't feel right. You might lose him for as long as we see the next one for.
Now, speaking of what Kendall just talked about, Saints receiver Jordan Tyson is expected to miss 2 months with a high ankle sprain.
God, this is so many injuries, and this is week 1 of preseason. You're gonna see. You know what's gonna happen is you're gonna see a lot of teams not even touching the good players. You're gonna see so many backups playing.
There are going to be. They might as well cancel the NFC South this season with all the injuries because you have, what's it called? We're going to talk about actually a bunch of NFC South stuff later, but you have Nick Scorton not done for the year. You have Chris Brazell done for the year. You have Jordan Tyson now out for 2 months. You've had all the injuries with Tampa, Emeka Egbuka, which we're going to talk about later. It's just so many key players in the NFC South. They're already getting hurt. And most of those guys got hurt and are done for the year. Brian Brzee, too. Brian Brzee tore his ACL and is done for the year. This was all before, with the exception of Jordan Tyson and another one we're going to talk about, done before week 1 of the preseason.
Yeah, this is going to be bad. The NFC South already sucks, but it's going to be even worse.
Now, speaking of the NFC South, Buccaneers receiver Emeka Egbuka sprains his toe and his status for week 1 is in serious jeopardy.
I feel so bad for Baker Mayfield. This man cannot catch a break. I mean, his best receiver leaves for the Niners. You look at Emeka Egbuka to step up as the number 1 because he had a pretty good rookie season, even though last part of it was rough. He might not even start the season.
Speaking of Mike Evans, I saw that he has now Mike Evans has leg tightness. I just saw that earlier. Like, what in the world is going on?
I feel like the first 6 things are injuries because we still have 2 more injuries to talk about.
Because Bears running back Kyle Monangai hyperextends his knee and he is out for a few weeks.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I hate seeing a player injured, but I don't mind it being a Bear. So
that's how I feel with the NFC South, and that's not the Panthers. Like, I hate that players get injured, but
Kyle Monangai's a good player. He's a really good player. He gives them a very strong two-headed monster with DeAndre Swift, which you gotta go there. Bro. Didn't I also read that Josh Jacobs is injured as well?
Oh yeah, Josh Jacobs is also hurt.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs is injured. He's set to return to practice, but he has a groin injury.
Yeah. Now, Falcons edge Jalen Walker tears his ACL, and he's out for the 2026 season. And edge James Pierce Jr. is suspended for 8 games.
So I'm not gonna lie, just shut the Falcons down.
Yeah.
If they lose Drake London or Brees,
Jalen Walker's done for the year. James Pierce is out for half of the year. Tua is a quarterback.
You better basically you better bring in every single medical expert and have them watching Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson flipping the tires.
What's going on? What is going on? Now, luckily, that's the last injury we're going to talk about right now. That is the last injury we are going to talk about right now. Injuries suck. It's a part of football, but they still suck. Now, because Jalen Walker is done for the year and James Pierce is suspended for 8 games, the Falcons signed Zadarius Smith out of retirement.
I like it. I think it's a good move. He is going to be someone who probably will hold the fort down till week 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not the player he used to be, but I think really a really good player. I like to see a player like him get more run. I honestly would not have minded him going back to Green Bay at some point, but to see him play for the Falcons, at least he is not a Bear, which
that's true.
Constantly is in the talking. So I will take that.
Okay, I don't know if we talked about this last episode, but tight end Darren Waller signs with the Panthers, and he is going to take Mike Tolbert's old number of 35.
I'm down for the signing with the numbers.
I know, I don't know how I feel about...
I just don't think he's going to do much. We saw him with the Dolphins last year. He was okay.
I mean, he's probably going to be the tight end 1 and get most of the tight end reps, so...
Yeah, but what did he even do with the Dolphins last year?
He was really good last year in the limited amount of time he played. So,
have his stats right now. I mean, yeah, he played 9 games, had 283 yards and 6 touchdowns. So
yeah, he really only played it was actually pretty good. So he's not going to be the guy who he was in Vegas and Oakland, but he can still be really reliable. Now, speaking of guys who may be reliable still, edge Von Miller is signing with the Cowboys on a 1-year, $7.5 million deal. And I saw that he wants to wear number 40, and I'm pretty sure Hunter Lupke wears 40. And he already said that he will give Hunter Lupke a lifetime supply of chicken.
What?
If Von Miller can have number 40.
Give him $1 million. You're fine. You just signed a $7 million.
It could be a lifetime supply of chicken.
You know what? I like this move a lot. My opinion, the Cowboys had one of the best offenses of anybody. A lot of moves, a lot of really good additions on their defense. This may actually affect the rankings we have upcoming.
Yeah, because in case I haven't said it, the 12 million times I've already said it, and you haven't been listening, we're doing the NFC East today, and there's also going to be AFC and NFC North today too. So, but that's
which you'll get some separate videos though.
Yeah, it's going to be separate videos. But the Bears signed defensive end Marcus Davenport to a 1-year deal. They wanted either Jadeveon Clowney or Von Miller, and they ended up getting neither. So they ended up signing.
Wait, Jadeveon Clowney signing in?
Is
he also a Cowboy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a Cowboy as well.
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The Texans. He re-signed with the Texans.
That's right. He's back with the Texans. That's right. But they got neither, so they went with another pass rusher who is going to help them as a real depth piece. He's not going to light up the stat sheet, but he's still going to be a reliable presence in that room. And speaking of reliable presence, this guy is probably a huge signing because he's their only healthy receiver on the roster right now that's going to play meaningful snaps. And he's still really reliable. Keenan Allen signed with the Colts on a 1-year deal worth $8.32 million. He's going to step in and be the wide receiver 3.
This is your team. What are your thoughts?
I love this. It's a move who I think it's a little bit of an upgrade over Michael Pittman, only because Michael Pittman's a better player. I do think that when you signed Alec Pierce to all that money, he was going to be the number 1 receiver. And I think Michael Pittman being there would have taken snaps away from Alec Pierce. And I still like Deion Burks, and Deion Burks is a guy who can get in the room and develop behind Keenan Allen, and they still have Alec Gould or Anthony Gould. They still have Laquan Treadwell, and those are guys who are going to help Deion Burks really develop and really understand the game of football and be a consummate well.
Yeah, I think to be honest, this is a fantastic bet. Keenan Allen, in my opinion, is still good enough to give you 700 yards for the season.
Pretty sure he had 75 catches and 730 yards last year with 4 touchdowns.
He is a really, really good player. I think he is obviously not going to be the focal point of this. I think we all know it's Alec Pierce. Josh Downs is a phenomenal player, but he is going to be a guy who, when the other two are really lighting you up and defenses start to fully focus on them, is going to change this game plan. And I think a good veteran receiver for Daniel Jones to throw to is really what he's looking for.
And we talk about guys who consistently catch the football. Keenan Allen might be one of the greatest catchers of a football we have ever seen. This is a guy who does not drop passes, who you can look up and he will have 12 catches out of nowhere. And I get he's 34 now, but Keenan Allen is still a guy who still can catch the ball 6 to 10 times a game. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And I do think that this makes the Colts offense a little more dynamic because now you have a reliable number 1, 2, and 3. And Michael Pittman was a guy who didn't really fit well with either Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson. And this is a scenario where I think it's an upgrade all around. But now, speaking of which, the last signing that we're going to talk about happened this morning because Najee Harris signed with the New York Giants. And in a corresponding move, they released wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster after bringing him in just a few short months ago alongside Odell Beckham Jr. and Braxton Berrios.
Is it bad? I didn't even know Juju was on that team.
Really? We talked about it.
We did. Honestly, I totally forgot Juju was there. This kind of makes it seem like Tyrone Tracy's available. I've been reading a lot that Tyrone Tracy is not looking too amazing.
He didn't really block for he didn't really block in their week 1 preseason game and got Jackson Dart concussed with that sack that he allowed.
Let's be honest, Jackson Dart's concussed him when he steps on the field.
That's true.
But
when you have guys like Devin Singletary and Cam Scatterbo who are good pass blockers as well.
Their guy, obviously. He's their number 1. No one thinks Najee Harris is coming here competing for a starting job, but I do think he can really put a competition with Devin Singletary for the number 2. I just think it's very likely to see Tyrone Tracy traded or released probably again before the start.
Because I do think Tyrone Tracy is a good running back. And I still think he is a guy who still needs development at the running back position, considering for pretty much in all of his college career, he was a receiver, with the exception of last year. So most of his life, he has been a receiver who is starting to slowly transition into the position of running back. But now,
he's a 5th rounder, so you gotta understand he's gonna take his time. Once again, still very young player, but Najee Harris kind of spells the end of it.
But speaking of the preseason, we're going to talk about some takeaways and some stars, really, and lowlights of week 1 of preseason. First, Drew Aller and Ty Simpson light up preseason week 1. Simpson went 21 for 25, 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. Drew Aller went 10 for 13, 153 yards and 2 touchdowns in the air while rushing 2 times for 2 yards and a rushing.
I think these two are guys who are in the perfect scenario for them. 2 solid young talents who do not have to play a lick this year. Obviously, it's almost identical. They're going into their seasons with a Hall of Famer in front of them, with a good offensive built around them and strong coaching. I am really excited to see what these guys look like at the beginning of next year when they're taking over the start of this.
Well, we don't know if Ty Simpson will be taking over week 1 next year.
Drew Aller, I will definitely. Next year is his team. I think with a whole season of learning under Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy, for all of their flaws, he could be a really good quarterback in this NFL.
He might still have Mason Rudolph in that room.
Worst case, Ty Simpson plays 2 years from now and still has more time to develop under the reigning MVP and one of the top 10 quarterbacks of this generation in that stuff.
Yeah. And speaking of which, we're going to talk about another standout because Caleb Wilson Caleb Douglas. I don't know if the one that we're going to talk about was a catch or the other one was not a catch, but he has the almost catch of the week during week 1. I don't know if you know the play I'm talking about, but Malik Willis throws it up in the air, and Caleb Douglas launches up in the air, reaches behind him, catches it with one hand, and flies back on the ground. I don't know if that was the catch or the one
We're seeing those on Instagram.
or the one on the right on the sideline was the catch or not. But either way, he had one reception for 28 yards. What is your takeaway on Caleb Douglas this week?
I love the reactions that everyone has to preseason and players having big plays. I don't want to react on this just yet. I think Caleb Douglas is a good player who has a chance. I think he's put a really good system because the receiving room in Miami is basically nobody.
Tutu Atwell, Jalen Tolbert, Chris Bell, him.
Pretty much bare bones.
Taj Washington.
If he can continue to play well in the preseason, I wouldn't be surprised if he can land himself a roster spot and overall just get some playing time.
He's definitely landed a roster spot because he's listed as a starter going in. He was listed as a starter going into week 1 of the preseason. I think
that's true.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he continues this, if we see him get some serious pizza.
Yeah. But now we're going to talk about quarterbacks again because Deshaun Watson outplays Shedeur Sanders in week 1.
Well, it's not hard to do. Shedeur played terrible. Shedeur was atrocious.
Do you think last year was a fluke for Shedeur Sanders?
I don't. So this thing, saying last year was a fluke is odd because he didn't have a good season. His numbers weren't great. Yes, he had flashes, and I think that's amazing. But I don't know if we can sit here and say Shedeur Sanders is a clear starter in the NFL. I don't think he has the talent yet. I think he can. No doubt in my mind that he can be. But I think that we need to have him have more time to develop. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Deshaun Watson needs to stop this.
Here's my thing. So you had Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, and Dillon Gabriel all attempt passes in week 1 and get on the field. Where was Taylor Green?
I wouldn't be surprised if next week we don't see Dillon Gabriel play and Taylor Green does. Or this upcoming.
I think we see Dillon Gabriel get traded.
Or released.
He'll be picked up. He's going to have a job because he's a solid backup. He's a good young player who can get into the game and manage it if you need. But as far as being the Browns' answer at quarterback, the Browns may not have it. We don't know.
I don't think the Browns have their quarterback on their
Who knows? Taylor Green may be that if he gets on the field. But anyways, speaking of struggling quarterbacks, Tua Tagovailoa struggles in week 1, throwing an INT and fumbling the ball in 2 drives. Granted, he got the fumble back, but he still fumbled on a 3rd down play.
I will say I'm inclined to give Tua a little bit more grace with this than I would give a Shedeur Sanders. Tua, we've seen the talent he has. He is a good player, not a great player. So I think for us to expect him to come out and lighten it up is ridiculous. Yeah, I would like to have seen him have stats similar to Deshaun Watson, but Tua is in a brand new system, and overall, I don't think it's a good system for him. So, of course, he's not going to play well. I don't even foresee him actually staying the starter for long because once Michael Penix is back into his team.
Yeah, who knows how the Falcons season is going to go. I don't think the Falcons are going to be good at all. I do think, though, that you play Tua the whole season. Let Michael Penix get his knee right. And if this is a lost season, let it be a lost season. Let Tua keep him under fire the whole season. Have him take pretty much all the snaps. Because if you want Michael Penix to learn, he has to get healthy first. And I don't know if he's going to be healthy at all this.
Do we see Tua being the next Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Matt Jones? Of guys who went to a new team and revitalized their career?
No.
Or do you think this is his final season as a starter?
I don't think he'll ever be a starter again. A consistent starter again.
Do we think that Kyler Murray has a Baker Mayfield season?
I don't know.
Under Minnesota?
I don't know. Because I think the J.J. McCarthy thing kind of kept AOC's QB whisperer mantra. I do think with how bad J.J. McCarthy was. Although he did make Carson Wentz look really good last year. So we'll see. Maybe it's just J.J. McCarthy being too bad for even KOC to say. Because Max Prosper was just bad. But Carson Wentz looked really good last year. And maybe we see a scenario where Kyler Murray is the Sam Darnold, where he goes to Minnesota, KOC turn his career around. He gets a giant contract next offseason from a team that's looking for a quarterback, and then they go on to win the Super Bowl. Please don't tell them they go win a Super Bowl. We don't need an under 6-foot guy to command a Super Bowl winning team.
In order to keep us moving on, let's hop into what next.
Okay, now wide receiver Camden Brown is the star of the week, receiver-wise, catching 2 touchdown passes, beautiful touchdown passes, I might add, as well as 6 catches and 63 yards for the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, football's back. We're talking Dallas Cowboys, everybody.
Yeah, I saw clips of him. He had a fantastic game, but I'd love to see a lot of that.
Yeah.
I think, and also I feel for him because being this good on a team like the Cowboys does nothing for you when you have your 1 or 2 long stuff.
Yeah.
So him and George Pickens are the guys. No one's taking in.
Well, when your 1, 2, and 3 receivers going into the season don't play in week 1 of preseason, you probably are guaranteed to not be 1, 2, or 3. Ryan Flournoy is the receiver 3. CD, George Pickens 1 and 2. But it's still nice. Maybe he can be a 5th option, a 4th option, Devontae Turpin, after Jalen Tolbert left. But who knows? We'll see what happens. But anyways, Rob...
You can't even make your name as a return man because Devontae Turpin is one of the best.
Devontae Turpin is probably the best return man in the entire league. But now we're going to continue with the NFC East because Robert Henry Jr. rushes for 75 yards and 1 touchdown on 12 carries in week 1. And you talk about a running back room that is more wide open than the gap right here. It's more wide open than the gap between these 2 picks. I don't like Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt. I don't think he's all that good. And when you have Katron Allen and you have Robert Henry and you have Rashad White and you have Jerome Ford, I do think that there's a scenario. And Jeremy McNichols, who's pretty good. I do think that there's a scenario where Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt shows all of his flaws and that he's not actually as good as everybody thinks he is. And I do like what I saw from him.
You know, it's interesting because I actually drafted Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt in our fantasy league. I do think that just because he has the experience, at least with last season, he's going to get the edge to start this year. I wouldn't be surprised if Robert Henry does sneak his way into as a 3rd or 2nd guy. I think for my opinion, we're going to see Merritt probably be the guy. So he's going to get his chance. He's going to bounce back with no Brian Robinson there anymore. This is his best chance to go out.
Okay, now we're going to one of the last 2. Well, we have a few more, but we're going to keep going with the NFC East because defensive tackle Uar Bernard and Joshua Weru both debut for the Eagles, and they both looked really good. Joshua Weru to TFL, and Uar Bernard didn't really put up stats, but keep in mind, it is both their first snaps of gridiron American football that they have ever played, and they both showed flashes.
Yeah, I obviously, if anyone can make these guys into absolute stars, it's the Eagles.
Yeah.
So let's recognize what this team can be, what these guys can be. And 5 years from now, when these 2 are making Pro Bowls and the NFC is being dominated by Philly, except 2 of them.
You know why it's going to work? Jordan Mailata did it. They brought over Jordan Mailata, a former rugby player, and Joshua Ware was a former rugby player.
Thing I really like about this is there's no pressure on them because you have a Jordan Davis, you have a Fletcher Cox, you have, what's his name? Oh God, a really good one. For his name, Jalen Carter. You have absolute animals on this line already. There is absolutely no pressure for them to work out because they have their guys.
Yeah, they can take as much time as they need.
Studs. There's one of 2 things happen. First off, they have amazing depth, or they trade them for a haul.
Yeah.
Either way, Philly wins.
Yeah.
And they don't work out. They wasted. They use like 6th and 7th round picks.
Well, Joshua Ware was undrafted.
Undrafted. Sorry, they use a late pick and then an undrafted. Who cares?
Yeah. So they wasted almost no capital if they don't work out. But still, I think Uar Bernard is an actual freak of a human being. I'm pretty sure he ran a 4.3 at 306 pounds.
He's huge, but he's fast, and it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Well, I want to talk about this next one.
Okay, here we go.
All right. So,
former
Green Bay Packer Malik Willis. First off, I'm talking about him. Malik Willis looked real solid in his debut drive for the Dolphins, going 4 for 5, 43 passing yards, 2 rushes for 9 yards, and led a 14-play, 91-yard touchdown drive for their only score of the game. Guys, Malik Willis is the real deal. Give him his Flowers.
Here's
Come
my
on.
I think that everybody is severely underrating the Dolphins this year. Is their roster? Am I expecting the Dolphins to make the playoffs? Absolutely not. Do I think that the Dolphins are going to be one of the 5 worst teams in the league? No way. Because when you have Jeff Halfley, who's a pretty good defensive coach, and then you have Malik Willis, who is a guy who Jeff Halfley handpicked from his time in Green Bay, and I don't think this receiving core is as bad as people are making it out to be, because you drafted Chris Bell in the 3rd round, who's coming back from an Achilles tear, who would have easily been, or an ACL tear, who would have easily been a 1st rounder had he have not torn his ACL in the college football season. Caleb Douglas, who is going to be a solid starting receiver right away. Jalen Tolbert, who's pretty good. You have Malik Washington, who is pretty good. You, Tutu Atwell, who is a solid receiver. And then they still have Greg Dulcich and the Tasmanian Devil, Will Kazmarek from Ohio State. And keep in mind, they still have Devon Agent.
Yeah, so I am a little different with you. I think that this year, probably a wash. But give this team, look at this team next year, and I'm not surprised that they're contending for the NFC.
You mean AFC?
Sorry, AFCs. No, they're going to be so good, they're going for the NFC as well.
Alrighty. Now, the last thing before we move on to NBA news, Fernando Mendoza goes 10 for 16 for 97 yards and a touchdown, as well as running twice for 9 yards. And I just saw today that he is actually taking reps against the Houston Texans starters and the Houston Texans backups.
Nice guy Nando is here to stay. Herc Thuggins, sorry, enjoy the bench, my guy, old man. Nice guy Nando is here.
I love
it. I love Fernando. First off, he's a guy you want to. He's a really enjoyable. We've seen. First off, let's compare him to who's had a lot of talk, smack talk. Fernando Mendoza, really enjoyable, great player. Diego Pavia, crap. There's something about Fernando that makes you want him to be good because he's just so lovable.
Yeah,
the guy. First off, he's out here shaking his opponent's hands, thanking the opportunity to be there. This guy is fun. Give him everything he asks for. And honestly, he's backing it up. He's playing really well.
Yeah, he really is. And
I do have a Ty Simpson game.
People are saying that they don't think he's going to start week 1. I think with how well he's already playing in the preseason, there's a scenario where he starts week 1.
100%. I really can see it.
And I get Clint Kubiak does not like to start rookies week 1, and he's learning a new system where he's under center, and he's never been under center a day in his football life. But guess what? Even if he struggles right away, guess who he still has there? His best friend, Kirk Cousins, to be there to pick him.
I always forget about that. No, this team is going to be better than people think.
Yeah.
Do I think they're great? No, but I think they're a Dolphin situation of give them a year or two, and this team's going to be fun.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the NBA, because most of it is going to be really essentially 2 topics, because Russell Westbrook last week retired from the NBA after 18 years. He has 209 regular season triple-doubles, which is the most in NBA history. Counting the postseason, he has 221, which is tied for Nikola Jokic who is tied with Nikola Jokic for the most postseason triple-doubles of all time. He has 1 MVP. He's a 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 9-time All-Star, averaged 20.9 points, 6.9 rebounds, 8.8 assists for his career. He has the most points and rebounds amongst all point guards. And before he retired, he had offers from the Wizards and the Kings before he ultimately decided.
First off, I think one thing that has to be very clear here, Bryce and I have been massive Russell Westbrook fans for the longest time. When the Westbrook thing was going around, Bryce and I were pretty quick to defend him. I'm sad to see him go. I think he still had a lot in the tank, but honestly, in an 18-year career, the stats he had, congratulations. He's first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt.
209 triple doubles in the regular season surprised me. It seems like it should have been way more.
The 221 is.
Yeah, it seems only 221 is in his 18-year career seems insane to me. Like,
with this thing, that's how it shows how good he is, though. Like that seems like barely anything, but come on, that's nuts.
I'm pretty sure in games he had triple doubles, they won like 68% of their games or something.
Russell Westbrook, he may not, is he a top 10 point guard of all time? Probably
Yes. Yes.
not. But he is the best. He is the best Thunder player to ever play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because he didn't decide to snake out. He didn't decide to snake.
I don't even care about what Kevin Durant did. I truly think Russell Westbrook represents the Thunder, and I wish they would have signed him for a day and let him retire as a Thunder.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think number 0 is getting retired by OKC?
By OKC, they will retire number 0. I would not be surprised if it happens this season.
Yeah. They're going,
One thing I wish, I kind of wish Russ would have signed with OKC, taken a major bench role, and possibly won a title.
Yeah, I know. It's just sad that he's
Russ
not
never
going to
had-
retire with one of these.
But he doesn't need it. I'm sorry, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He's on the All-NBA 75 team for a reason. He's also 3 seasons of averaging a triple-double, which it had never been done before. It had only been done once. Somebody had averaged a triple-double once, ever. Russell Westbrook did it 3 years. 3 seasons.
It was so good.
Keep in mind, he was also the last player to help the Wizards make the playoffs.
Oh, that's true. No, you know what? Hey, great career, Russ.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah. And now there's a little bit of contention amongst this because the Buss family sell their last 17.8% stake in the Lakers to Josh Kushner and former Disney CEO Bob Iger for $12.5 billion. And I don't know if you've been following the whole saga, but Jeannie Buss has kind of essentially tried to send lawsuits to her siblings because they have said she's claimed that they've tried to make lies about her, saying that she wanted to sell the team when realistically she actually never wanted to sell the team. She's wanted to be owning the Lakers for the rest of her life. But after the sell last year, the Buss family fell apart and essentially none of them wanted anything to do with it. And
this is weird just because it's hard to imagine the Buss family having nothing to do with the Lakers. And I'm not going to lie. I think it's clear as day. Jeannie loves that. She wants that team to thrive. She wants it to be better. And it sucks. It's like you have to wonder what's going to happen to this team with this new ownership coming in.
Yeah.
I hope nothing goes wrong. But when you lose an owner that loves a team like that, things go tend to go. Look at the Mavericks. Look what happened when Mark Cuban left this team. All of a sudden, they trade Luka Doncic. Oh my gosh, is Luka getting traded again?
No.
Guys, I'm calling it on this podcast. Luka gets traded next season.
He's going to get traded for Anthony Davis and a first-round pick, isn't he?
No. You know where he's going to get traded to? You want to take a guess?
You're going to say the Dallas Mavericks, aren't you?
No. He's on a team with Jason Tatum of Boston. He'll get traded for Paul George.
No. He'll be the one. He'll be the one that the Celtics would trade Hugo Gonzalez for.
It'll be Paul George and Hugo Gonzalez. And
that's all the Lakers would get. Hugo Gonzalez, Paul George, and a 2041 first.
That's heavily protected.
That is top 29 protected.
I hate this. I'm not even a Lakers fan, and I hate this.
Please don't do that to me. Please don't.
Bob Iger did a good job at Disney.
What?
Bob Iger did a good job running Disney, so maybe he'll run the Lakers route.
Speaking of LA, the Aspire investigation seems to be over as it was concluded that Steve Ballmer gave no money to Kawhi Leonard as part of endorsement deals.
I don't know if you've been on Twitter much today, but that was false information.
What?
Supposedly, an NBA executive said this isn't over and it might be going to arbitration.
What?
I'm looking it up right now. So there is, so far there's no direct proof, but supposedly they might be going to arbitration.
What in the world? Is this saga ever going to end?
I'm looking it up right now to verify.
Is this saga ever going to end?
Yes, it is highly likely that the situation is going to head to independent arbitration, as both the NBA and LA Clippers owner are actively preparing for it. So this has been a really bad day for the ESPN because they wrongly reported the Lakers. They had it wrong, like what was going to happen wrong, and then they wrongly reported the Clippers situation.
God, oh my God.
Now, that's not a guarantee. They may not go to arbitration. What I'm thinking is this Kawhi deal still ends up going through.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing the writing in the sand that Kawhi probably going to get it off maybe 15, 20 game suspension.
Yeah.
But I think that we're going to see him end up in Toronto next year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, guys, we have one more thing before a really fun topic. So
there's another one. It's
there
Miami
is.
desperate to acquire Klay Thompson.
They're having the unction happen over there. So I texted Bryce, I think it was yesterday.
It was.
And I said, let's talk about our way too early NBA predictions. So we're going to go back and forth. Bryce has the first one.
Yep. So I have the Philadelphia 76ers will win 68 games, be the 1 seed in the league, go to the NBA Finals, and beat the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's wild. That might be what the NBA wants so badly to happen. Like for LeBron to win another title and then to beat the freaking Luka-led Lakers. Also, if this is the dream, he's going to knock out the Cavs and the Heat in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, it's yours.
All right. So I have that the Pistons are going to win 65 games and Cade Cunningham is going to be top 3 in MVP voting.
Now, I could honestly, realistically see that because considering they were, won 62 games last year with Cade missing.
Everyone thinks they're going to regress. I generally think this team's gotten better.
I mean, who do they realistically lose? I get they lost Tobias Harris, but Tobias Harris
could
easily be. He was huge for them the last 2 seasons, but he's a guy who could easily be replaced.
Adding Isaiah Joe and John Collins.
What happens to Jalen Duren?
I think they get him back for a QA.
Yeah, but my way too early. Luka wins MVP.
Well, I guess you have the next one as well. Here, I'll move my final one up and then we'll read that after you. So,
this guy's going to win MVP right here.
Luka Doncic. Luka Bryce's dog. Ja Morant will make the All-Star team and average 25 points per game, 6 assists, and shoot 38% from 3.
Wow. Wait.
38%
38% from 3?
Yep. I think him playing alongside Damian Lillard and Denny Avdia is going to really up his game.
I mean, that's a little crazy.
He's playing with a top 5 shooter of all time.
Ja Morant's not a shooter.
Yeah, but he's playing with a top 5 shooter of all time. There's no way he doesn't learn. This is why it's way too early predictions.
Okay. The rookie of the year will either be Caleb Wilson or Nate Ahmed.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, you have another one.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
2 yours now.
The Nuggets and the Heat are going to miss the playoffs too.
The Nuggets and the Heat?
Yep.
No way.
I have another one I'm going to throw in there after you do yours.
Now, my last one. The Warriors will get the number 1 pick.
I can actually see that. Low-key, I can see that happening.
Yeah, I do think that this is a team that is not going to be good at all.
So let's rewind about a year ago, right? Bryce and I started this podcast up. We got into one of our first episodes and I said the Wizards would be a playoff. I am saying it again. The Wizards are a top 6 seed in the East.
I was just about to say you might need to clarify that because you just said top 6 seed. I was going to say, are you going to say top 6 seed in the NBA or the East?
In the East.
Okay.
I'm not stupid. Come on. The top 6 seeds in the NBA might all come out of the West.
I mean, I feel like that is a very high possibility when you have Trae Young, Anthony Davis, Bilal Coulibaly, Keyshawn George, Alex Sarr, Agent.
Really good depth. A good coach.
Johnson. Yeah. Bob Carrington still.
Will Riley's there.
Yeah. Well, this is a really good young team who has
very good veteran leaders.
Yeah. In Trae Young and Anthony Davis. They have a guy who's won a title. So,
yeah.
But now we're going to move on to the fun part. We're going to do the NFC East.
I think this is going to be fun. I think we're going to have some very different opinions.
I think that this is the one where we don't have a single same one.
I don't know. I think we might. I actually really did a good job of avoiding yours.
Okay.
I think hard to have not picked the same number 1 seed. Well, we'll start at number 4. Bryce, go ahead.
Number 4, I have the Washington Commanders. I was going to go 5-12, but out of respect for Jaden Daniels, I said 6-11.
That's bad.
I think when you really upgrade the running back room like they did with getting Jerome Ford, Jeremy McNichols, we talked about this earlier. They got a lot of running backs. And then when you have the receiving room you do, that's still not great. And I don't think the defense is still all that great, even though they got Nick Frost. And they got arguably the best linebacker drafted in the last 412 years in Sonny Styles.
Dang, it's really high in Sonny Styles.
Why wouldn't I be? Why wouldn't I be? You know what college you went to, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
He's the greatest running back. He's going to be the greatest linebacker of all time.
Okay, that is a prediction.
He's going to make Lawrence Taylor, Mike Singletary, and Ray Lewis look like bottom 5 linebackers in NFL history.
While Bryce is designed to smoke crack and say his opinions, I'm going to jump to my 4 seed. I have the Giants at 3-14. In my opinion, they have one of the top 10 worst quarterbacks in the NFL, a massively overrated running back, a very good defense, but no, outside of Malik Neighbors, this team has nothing on offense.
You know who they drafted a receiver. You know that, right?
I'm well aware. Very well aware. Not high on him. Sorry.
You don't think Darnell Mooney's going to improve?
He'll be okay.
You don't think Calvin Austin's going to be a good guy on the team?
Trust me. I think there is some seriously talented players.
Well, what about Darius Slayton?
I generally believe that the Giants are going to be one of the worst teams in the league this year, mainly off of an atrocious quarterback, though.
Yeah, look at their draft. Look at the draft.
Their defense scares me. As a NFC and as a person who's seen in the NFC, their defense does scare me, but their offense is going to be bad enough to where it's nothing you worry about.
I mean, they did improve their offensive line, so
it doesn't matter if your quarterback doesn't know how to slide.
They brought in
what's his name?
They brought in Luminor.
Once again, your running back says CT is not real and your quarterback doesn't know how to slide. The two of them are going to have half a brain cell combined.
Alrighty. At third place, I have the New York Giants at 7-10. I do think that this team's going to be a lot better. Bringing in Najee Harris helps with pass blocking to keep Jackson Dart upright. I do like their running back. I like their receiver room. They brought in Darnell Mooney, Calvin Austin, Gunnar Olszewski, who is now out for the season, so they brought in Braxton Berrios. I brought back Isaiah Hodgins, signed Odell, and then they brought in Juju, who they waived today. They got Isaiah Likely. They brought Patrick Ricard in. Their defense is going to be amazing. They brought in Jermaine Illuminor. They drafted amazing. And you could argue they also brought, I think if you look at their departures, they had an answer for every one of the guys that they lost and then some. So I do think that this is a scenario where the Giants have a huge upgrade of a season. However, I don't think they're going to be 1-2 because I do think 1-2 is a consensus 1-2 whether which way you have them. I think they're 2.
So my 3 seed is the Dallas Cowboys at 11-6.
What?
Yes, I think this is one of the best offenses we've ever seen. I think the talent they have on offense blows my mind to the point where I think they have the best offense in the NFC. The defense is also very good. I just think they are in one of the best divisions in football, and someone has to make some losses. Someone has to lose some tiebreaker games, and I look at this Cowboys team as should be in the playoffs. Actually, probably will be a wild card team with an 11-6 record, but I really like the two teams I have above them a little bit more.
So you think the NFC is going to be a million times better than the AFC this year?
I think the NFC is going to. I think we're going to have another Super Bowl winner called the NFC.
I mean, when you have 3 Super Bowl contenders in the NFC West alone,
you have at least 2 in the NFC East, and I'm not sure. Honestly, you can argue the Cowboys might be.
You may have 2 or 3 in the NFC North, depending on who you ask.
You have 3 in the NFC North, probably 3 in the NFC East, 3 in the NFC West, 2 maybe 1 in the NFC South.
1
Panthers.
Okay, I was about to say. But I have at 2, I have the Cowboys at 10-7. I think when you had the draft that the Cowboys had, when you got arguably the second best defensive player drafted in the first round in the last 15 years, in Caleb Downs, and then you draft Malachi Lawrence, you improved the defense big time because they also brought in Von Miller. They brought in Rashawn Gary. Like, this is a team whose offense didn't really need help. And guess what? They still improved the offense. And I think that this is a team where if you look at Brian Schottenheimer, you could honestly, realistically see him winning Coach of the Year in 2026 because the upgrade that their team made on both sides, or really on the defensive side of the ball, and they improved offensively.
You know, I can see what you're saying with the Cowboys. I really do look at the team as a scary team. I just, as I said, somebody has to take that tiebreaker loss. But for me, my second seed is the Washington Commanders at 11-6 as well. Jaden Daniels was hurt all last year. This team can't be judged off of what it was just because there were so many injuries. I know they lost some players. I'm not going to ignore the fact they lost Bobby Wagner and Marshawn Lattimore. 2 very good players, but I do really like their additions of Robert.
Did you say the record was
11-6?
Okay, good. I'm glad you didn't say 12 and predicted. So
we had to lose one more game out of respect for Jaden Daniels. I like their draft. I really, really like. Obviously, you're right. One of the best linebacker talents we've ever seen in Funny Styles.
Yeah.
I'm actually really, really high on Matt Golden. I don't know if he's not playing much this year. I think he's going to be a player who they can depend upon. Joshua Joseph, getting him so late is fantastic. This team has all the potential in the world. And then to add Stephon Diggs makes me think this offense is back.
Wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot they got Stephon Diggs. That's right.
Logan Tunsil's still back. I mean, you have Caleb on Chase on. You have really good.
Charles Menahue they brought in.
What was that?
Charles Menahue they brought in.
This team, Jeremy Ford, Jeremy Nichols, Jerome Ford, Jeremy Nichols, Rashad White. I would not be surprised if they're 11-6 this year and competing for Super Bowl.
Wow. So you and I actually do have the same number one seed. I thought it was actually. I mean, I thought one of us was going to go crazy and not have the Eagles at one.
No, come on. The question is, we have the same record.
I mean, I have them at 12 and redacted. I mean, when you upgraded the receiving room like they did when getting Marquise Brown, Dontavion Wicks, Elijah Moore, and then you draft Mekhi Lemon, you bring in another solidified backup quarterback in Andy Dalton, you keep your tight end room the same and maybe even improve it a little by bringing in Stone Smart, and then you keep your defensive line intact with re-signing Jordan Davis, re-signing Jalen Carter, re-signing Jonathan Grenard. You brought in Jonathan Jones. You brought in Tariq Woolen. And then you draft how you did. Like, this is why the Eagles will never be bad. Because you know what they are? When it comes to drafting, they're the Dodgers of the NFL. They do not have bad drafts. They can also develop players real well. Hence, why you have Jordan Mailata coming in as part of the International Pathway Program, and he becomes arguably the best left tackle in the league. And then you get Uar Bernard in the 7th round, who I'm going to say right now is going to be a top 10 defensive tackle in the league 4 years from now. Joshua Weru, who's going to be a really solid defensive player in just a few years as an undrafted free agent. Like, what are we talking about? And losing A.J. Brown hurts, but guess what? They brought in other receivers to lessen the blow of A.J. Brown.
I'm really excited about Mekhi Lemon for this team. I think we need to recognize he's a rookie, so he's going to take some time to develop. But man, I think he could be in for an Emeka Egbuka.
This receiving core is the best receiving core in the entire league.
For me, this team going 14-3. I don't see the teams that can actually take this team down. Offensively, they are so beyond sound. Defensively, I wouldn't want to sniff this team if I was in offense. They are scary. This Eagles team has amazing coaching. It's run amazingly. They have fantastic leadership in Jalen Hurts.
Keep in mind, also, Kevin Patullo is gone, everybody.
Kevin Patullo, their flaw, biggest flaw from last year.
Addition by subtraction.
I really would be worried about the rest of the NFC. I'd be worried the Eagles run the rest of the NFC. Do not be surprised if this team is your Super Bowl champion.
I mean, the NFC at the top is going to be an absolute bloodbath. See with the Rams, the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Eagles, the Packers, the Lions, the Bears, maybe. Like, someone of these teams has to miss the playoffs. One of those 8 teams has to miss the playoffs. Well, 2 of them, because the NFC South has to make the playoffs. And this is coming from a fan of the NFC South. No one in the NFC South is touching any one of those top 8 teams.
No, we saw the Panthers put up a fight against the Rams. That was before they got Myles Garrett.
That was a Rams team that didn't have Myles Garrett last year.
They're probably going to re-sign Aaron Donald.
Or Chuck McDuffie or Jalen Watson. And now they have Jalen Watson, Myles Garrett, and Chuck McDuffie.
My question is there anything that the AFC can do?
No.
The AFC only hope is that Mahomes gets healthy and the Chiefs become what they were again.
Here's
Lamar Jackson takes a step forward in the playoffs.
I know. Maybe this is the year that Josh Allen finally steps up. Maybe
if he makes the Super Bowl, he's gonna get waxed by either the Eagles or the freaking Seahawks or Rams. It doesn't matter.
The 49ers.
The Niners as well, who are another scary team.
Do you think a team in the NFC North or the NFC South has a chance of dethroning the Rams, 49ers, Seahawks?
No. As much as I love my Packers, no, and I don't think the Bears are there yet. The only team who I could see having the experience to do probably is the Lions. I don't think they're good enough to beat the other 2 teams in there. The other 2 big dogs.
Because
I don't
when
know
you look at
path to top.
you
of the
could
division.
argue that 4 of the 6 best defenses in the league are all in the NFC. Seahawks, Rams, Eagles.
The only ones who have a say in this are the Broncos.
The Broncos and the Patriots. That's it.
I put the Texans over the Patriots.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Texans. 4 of the top 7 defenses are in the NFC.
You could argue that, or you could argue the top 3 are in the NFC.
Yeah, the Eagles, Rams,
Hawks, and Rams. And then, you got to throw the Broncos and the Texans in there. But
yeah,
still.
I think the Broncos would be 4, maybe the 49ers at 5, Texans at 6.
And then Patriots 7.
No, I think the Packers defense is really.
Then outside of that, you have to throw out the Bears defense, which is crazy.
The Packers defense is really good.
Really, really solid. Do not sleep on the Panthers defense.
The Panthers defense is going to be really improved.
Even the Vikings defense.
I forgot about Brian Flores. Brian Flores may put the Vikings at top 2 on this list by himself.
Guys, the NFC, just give it stem.
The Super Bowl should just be the NFC Championship now for the foreseeable future. Oh my God.
All right. Well,
anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. You will be getting probably 2 episodes this week because we have the AFC and NFC North. And then we also have this episode. So
you guys
if you
know
guys like this episode, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, use code Jubos Podcast at w.gg for 10% off your first purchase. And we will see you guys next week.